is Tampa Bay politics. And I'm so happy and excited to have a mover and a shaker in the Democratic Party, Miss Olivia Thompson. She calls her company The Blueprint, and she is really helping people get involved. So I want you to listen up, because if you want to get involved, we're going to tell you how to make a difference. Hi, Olivia.
Hello, hello. Good morning, everybody.
Well, guess what? We always start with your story. So where were you born?
I was born in, well, it's kind of a funny story. I was born in Delaware, but I was raised in Pennsylvania. So I grew up right over the border. It was very close to the border of Pennsylvania and Delaware, and Maryland and Pennsylvania. So I was born in Delaware, grew up on a horse farm.
Wow. I
In
love
Pennsylvania.
horses. They're so pretty.
They are so, and they're sweet. They're sweet. I know some people don't have that experience with horses.
Well, they're a big animal and they can be dangerous. You don't
Yes.
want them to step on your foot, and you
Yes,
don't want
no.
to fall off.
Yep, no.
But other than that, you're good.
Absolutely, yes. And once you go through those things a couple times, you feel like you can handle anything.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So then where did you go to school?
So I went, which, high school? College.
Both.
Okay.
Because,
So I went,
we got some transplants here, so they might know your high school.
yes, they might. So I went to high school at a school called Sanford School. So as I told you, grew up very close to the border of Pennsylvania and Delaware.
Near that guy Biden.
Yes, near that guy Biden. My high school was right maybe 8 minutes away from Biden's house.
Wow.
Yeah, it was fun. I remember one time when I was a senior, a couple friends and I went and got lunch. And this was back in 2012, like right after the election. And my friends were like, the re-election. My friends were like, "Oh, that's Joe Biden." And I was like, "Joe Biden? Who's Joe Biden?"
You said, who's Joe Biden?
And now I have his name on my shirt.
You know who he is.
Now I know who Joe Biden is.
So you actually saw him, like, walking around?
Yeah, we saw him at Jansen's in Greenville. It's this little market. People who are from the area will know what I'm talking about. But he was coming out, and my two friends were like, "Can we get our picture with him?" And I was like, "All right." So I kind of like just took the picture, and I was like, "All right, whatever." That was weird. Because I didn't really, I mean, I knew he was the vice president, but I didn't really realize what that meant, right? Like, I was 17. Things were a lot, maybe I was 16. Things were a lot, different. Everything was smooth sailing. Nobody really, it wasn't a big deal.
Well, when you're a teenager, it's all good.
Also that, yes. Yes.
And then you went, where'd you go to college?
So I went to the University of Tampa.
UT in the house.
Spartans.
Okay, and what did you study there?
I studied international and cultural studies. So it's kind of a mix. I think now it's under the poli-sci department or, group of study. But it was international and cultural studies. It was a lot of world history. It was world governments and affairs, economics, languages, all kinds of stuff. So I minored in Italian because that was my love.
Okay.
Yeah.
Have you spent time in Italy?
I have. I did study abroad in Sorrento, Italy.
Oh, that's lovely.
It was beautiful.
So then you graduated from UT, and what happened to you then?
So I graduated from UT in 2017. I moved directly out of graduating to Costa Rica. I had in undergrad gotten a certificate to teach English as a second language. So, I wanted to go into the Peace Corps. And my mom was like, and I wanted to go somewhere in West Africa, or even South Africa. I traveled to South Africa when I was early in high school. And she was like, I don't want you to go that far away. I don't want, I want you to be safe. Where are you going to go? And so she was kind of trying to coerce me into staying closer to her.
Okay.
So
So
she was
Costa Rica was
Costa
the
Rica was the
spot.
Yeah, it was the spot. So I went there. I developed an English program for adults, and I taught in this school that was K through 12. I lived in the jungle in Uvita. There's a ton of expats where I lived.
In the jungle.
In the jungle. They go there to surf. It's the funniest thing. It's like this little community. So yeah, I lived there for a year and was very, like, when I graduated in 2017, but 2016 was the election. And I remember I was so panicked and I was so like, this can't actually happen. And I voted absentee. So even before graduating, I was very, very politically sort of active. Astute, yes, yeah. And so yeah, I ended up, that the election happened, and then I ended up going to Costa Rica, and I didn't really have a good idea of what was going on. It's really easy to escape the news in America when you're in another country, especially in the jungle.
Right. Yeah. I mean, yeah, because there's a lot of countries that are keeping track, but if you're in the jungle,
yeah, it's not really it's like a time warp. We really used to feel like it was a time warp. We were almost 5 hours away from the airport. You have to drive like almost half the country in length from where I was to get to San Jose, to the capital. So I was very just not in touch with everything that was going on. Then I came back to the States May of 2018, and that was around the time that child separation was going on. And I just remember being flooded with all of these images and this terror of, like, America is kidnapping children. Like, this is really, when Trump had put in the child separation policy. And immediately that political astuteness sort of transferred into political activism.
Yes.
Yeah.
A lot of people got active.
Yes.
Because of Trump.
And that's what I say. I say the one good thing Trump did, he made more Democrats.
Yes.
But he also, he made a lot of people, his actions are what inspired a lot of people on the left to get involved.
It's what inspired me.
Me too.
Yes.
We wouldn't be here if it wasn't for that terrible person.
I mean, it made a lot of people get off the couch.
Yes. Yes, it did.
And, you can get a little complacent when your guy is in the office, like Obama.
Yep.
He was so safe and
yep.
qualified.
Yep. Professional.
You loved him.
Yeah.
And then, bam.
Yeah.
Trump is in the house.
Yeah. And Trump's in the house, and Trump
is
taking
down
kids
the
away.
House.
Yeah, is taking kids away from their families.
Yes.
Babies. So then I started getting involved. I had some friends living in D.C., and I was like, I need to do something. So I started marching with them in D.C. I was like, anything I can do. I started to volunteer locally in Pennsylvania with the Kennett Democrats, and helped elect a woman, Chrissy Houlihan, who is a congresswoman.
Wonderful.
First elected,
That's a wonderful thing to do, get involved in a campaign.
Yes. It was amazing. And it was a grassroots, it was a grassroots effort. It wasn't a lot of people with a lot of high experience. It was like, we are all just trying to pull together to make sure we elect this congresswoman.
Was that a Republican seat?
That was a Republican seat, and we unseated. And Chrissy Houlihan, she's so incredible. She was a captain in the Air Force. She was a science teacher. I mean, she was just this perfect candidate.
Wow,
and
that's wonderful.
I started off just lawn signing. I would lawn sign. I was driving all around Kennett Square, and Lincoln University area, putting Chrissy Houlihan lawn signs in everywhere. Then I started canvassing, and then I started training canvassers.
Okay.
And training volunteers, because it was that's the beautiful thing about, the local grassroots effort is you get to fall in where you're needed, and you don't need a lot of experience. If you know what you're doing and you do it well.
You got two hands, you got a brain. We need you.
Exactly.
Right now.
Yeah. And you get to step up, and you get to train volunteers, even though you're like, I never really thought I'd be doing that.
And some people don't like to canvass. They can do it from home.
Exactly.
They can call people on the phone. A phone call means a lot.
It does. It does. Absolutely.
And now they're even doing text messages.
I know. I find text banking to be way more efficient than phone banking.
Okay.
Because people, and I'll go into this a little bit later, but people, when you text them, they see your purpose, right? And
Yes.
nowadays with the spam phone calls, like, people don't really answer. I mean, I know I don't really answer phone calls that I don't
if it's
have.
a number they don't know.
Yep.
Yes.
And then, it just goes to their voicemail. But if you text them, they see that. They see, like, hey, this is
Olivia
or Angela with Hillsborough County Dems. And then people are like, oh, yeah, okay, great, So, yeah, I think things are definitely shifting, and people are hopefully campaign efforts are going to start being more. I would love to see them be more text heavy, just with my experience of getting,
especially a young person,
especially
like
a young person. Yeah.
Now, how did you came to Tampa? You came back from Costa Rica, and then what happened?
So I came back to Tampa, and I went from Costa Rica, Pennsylvania, got involved there for 6 months, midterm election. Then I came back to Tampa, and I started teaching at UT. I was teaching because I had that English language certification, which is why I went to Costa Rica to teach in the first place. And I had come back, was working at UT. I'm like trying to figure it out. What did I do? So much has happened since then. Went back to UT, taught ESL, English as a second language, at the international school for like 6-7 months, and then started to get involved with Hillsborough County Democratic Party. I wanted more. My teaching was really great, but I was tired of telling adults to do their homework.
Yes.
I was teaching adults, and they were really fun, and I wanted to be friends with them almost more than I wanted to teach them, which was the funny part. I was like, I don't know if, I feel like I just want to hang out with you guys. So I decided, I didn't want to teach anymore, and I got involved volunteering with the Hillsborough County Democratic Party as a desk volunteer.
And at that time, the Democratic Party had an office in Temple Terrace. Yes. Since COVID, we don't, but
yeah. So I was sitting in the office. I remember talking to Betty Arnold, and I was like, I'd love to get involved. And she was like, great. So Betty Arnold was our old office manager.
Oh, I see. Okay.
And I got involved. I started
just sitting at the front desk.
Sitting at the front desk. It was 2018. And at that time, we would get like 20 to 25 people a week calling in who wanted to get involved.
And then what would happen?
And we would take their name, take their information, write it down. And then I remember on the weekends, I'd be going out to these voter registration events. And I was like the only volunteer. I remember John Godwin and I did a voter registration event outside of the downtown library in Tampa, the public library.
Former candidate.
Yep. And good friend. Do you know John?
I do know John.
John is awesome.
He's now with Tiger Bay.
Yes. Yeah. So, there was all these volunteers that I'd taken during the week, and none of them were out in the field. I was like, John, why am I the only one here? And then I was like, do we have a volunteer coordinator? Like, I want to set this up. So I talked to Ione, our chair, and,
Ione Thompson, who is the chair of the Hillsborough Democratic Party.
Yes. Ione's
large
awesome.
and in charge.
Yes. And I said, I'd love to be the volunteer coordinator. Like, we have tons of people calling in, but they're not really getting communicated out into the field.
So we got 1 minute left in our first segment here.
That's totally fine. I was like, how can I fill an hour? And this is way easier than I thought.
It is, because you got a whole lot to talk about.
I got a lot, and I just talk a lot.
But it's all good.
Yeah,
it
is good. It is
everybody can relate to your story.
Really?
Yes.
Okay,
because,
good. I like
we might get some volunteers from this.
Yeah. Yeah, maybe. Yeah, I'd love that. I would love that.
All right. So we're getting ready to...
We are getting ready to go on our break. And
go on
we
our
will
break,
be back.
and when we come back, we're going to talk more about what you're actually doing now.
Yes,
which is all about the blueprint.
Yes.
About the blueprint.
Yes.
About the blueprint.
Yes.
About the blueprint.
you deserve help from an attorney that knows how to handle your injury claim. This is Attorney Clinton Paris from the Law Office of Clinton Paris. For over a decade, I worked for insurance companies, and now I use that knowledge and experience to help people that have been injured. For a free consultation, call me, Attorney Clinton Paris, at 813-413-7924. That's 813-413-7924, or at parislawoffice.com. At the Law Office of Clinton Paris, we take the pain out of being hurt. Offices, Riverview.
For all your national and local entertainment news, not to mention your favorite smooth soul and R&B flavors, log on to the letter N-touchnews.com.
Don't miss the first annual Amateur Grillers Cook-Off coming to the Tampa Bay area on Labor Day weekend, September the 5th. Hosted by the Dr. K.C. Patel High School, located at 10721 Rollison Ranch Road, right here in Tampa, from 11 a.m. to 5 p.m. There will be a $500 cash prize to the best amateur griller. If you feel that you've got the skills, then you need to bring your grill. It doesn't matter how big or how small. You can drive it up, push it up, pull it up, or even let grandma and grandpa help you set it up. Just bring the entire family out and enjoy some of the finest amateur grill meats. Sample the sauce and find out who has the best sauce. Bring your meat and put it on a plate, and let's see if you have what it takes. For vendors information, text 813-965-4456.
Well, you are listening to Tampa Bay Politics. And in the studio, first of all, I'm Angela Birdsong, just in case you don't know that. And in the studio with me is the president of The Blueprint. And she's going to tell us all about what she's doing, because she's doing some fantastic work with getting Democratic volunteers out.
Yes.
And we need them right now.
Yeah.
Tell us about your company.
So we started, we incorporated in this year, in March of this year. And as I had told you before when we kind of left off, that I, had gotten involved with the Hillsborough County Democratic Party, and we needed a volunteer coordinator, and I was like, I would love to fill this. I'm going to kind of give some background so it makes sense what Blueprint is doing and why we're doing what we're doing. So filled the role of volunteer coordinator for Hillsborough County Democratic Party, did that for 2 years, and...
So what did you do in that role? Did you actually get the volunteers? So someone says, hey, I want to volunteer. Mm-hmm. You get their name and number, and then what'd you do then?
So I would get extracts from our website, people who signed up to volunteer on our website, people from Mobilize who signed up for events. Mobilize America is the program that people, we can put our meetings, our trainings, anything like that onto Mobilize, and people can sign up for it.
So that's your communication space.
Yeah, exactly. Mm-hmm. People who would come into the office at that time, calls into the office. So
the Democratic Party office.
Yep. Mm-hmm. So I would take those names and I put them in Excel, and then I would find their precinct, and I would find their region, because in Hillsborough County we have the county split up into 7 regions, and dependent on precinct. So I would find that information, and then I'd call the person, and I would say, I saw you were interested in volunteering. We have so many opportunities. We're so excited, to have you. Have you volunteered before? Is there something specific that you would like to do? And sometimes people would say yes. Sometimes they didn't really have a specific, clear idea. They hadn't volunteered before. So I would provide them with a list of opportunities, and then I would also send them to Mobilize so they could see what was going on in the next couple days.
So every time you need volunteers, a little post comes up on Mobilize and says, hey, meet us here, do this.
Yes, okay. Exactly. And people could go there and sign up for a meeting, a training, voter registration, canvassing, whatever they decided. So that was going, wonderfully. And I started to realize in 2020 that we were getting in Hillsborough County a lot of volunteers from Polk, Pasco, Pinellas, surrounding counties. And I would try and connect those people. I'd always say, like, hey, Jimmy, I see you live in Pasco. we're in Hillsborough County. Did you mean to sign up here? And a lot of people would always say, you guys were the only thing I could find.
I see.
Because we had a lot of infrastructure.
They got a little upward battle in Pasco and Polk. But God bless them.
Yeah, they do. They do. And it's hard. And so, you know, I would say, well, you know, I can connect you with somebody in your county, or if you want to volunteer, you can here. But I think they really need you in your county.
Where you live.
Exactly.
Start where you live.
Exactly. So I, you know, I would connect people, and sort of after the 2020 election, in the wake of it, I started to sort of debrief, and I started to realize we're from the surrounding counties. So I went to Ione Townsend, our chair in Hillsborough County, and I said, you know, I would love to train volunteer coordinators in other counties, because I had set up this process. It was going wonderfully, and we were now capturing probably 70% more volunteers than we were before.
And actually utilizing
and
them.
Engaging them. It's all about engaging.
Yes.
So she said, you know, yeah, we have the Bay Blue Block, you know.
Which is a very good idea. So the Bay Blue Block includes Hillsborough, Pasco, Polk. Anybody else?
Pinellas.
Pinellas.
Yeah, so it's sort of the
Okay.
county surrounding Tampa Bay. And yeah, she was like, if you want to come, you can train people, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, okay, cool. That sounds great. That was right at the end of November, and the Senate runoffs were going on in Georgia. So I was like, okay, I want to go to Georgia and volunteer.
Wow, good for you.
So I was then sort of the tables had turned, and I was the volunteer who was looking to get involved. So I remember looking on the website, Georgia Dems, and looking through the counties. And of course, because I organize on a county level, my first thought process is county level, right?
Yes.
It's not join a big campaign. It's like local. So I remember going on, and only about 40% of the counties had websites and had up-to-date social media. Maybe Facebook was more like 50,
I'm
60.
surprised.
I know, and they went blue. And I remember being, this was before
That
the
was
election.
all Stacey Abrams, though.
That was all Stacey Abrams. And I wanted to get involved in Peach County, and I remember their website. You know, I looked for it, and it was just, and I still want to help Peach County. I cannot wait to help Peach County.
Do
was
it
one of the
now.
First
because,
people, first
you know,
people I
that
wanna
voter
help.
suppression is real.
Yeah, no, it is real. It is real, and it's very scary. And so I remember getting on their website, trying to sign up. It was just a page, you know, and no one had gotten back to me. And I was like, okay, so this isn't just a volunteer coordinating problem. Like, this is an infrastructure problem
Yes.
everywhere. It's
Probably all over the country.
all over the country. So I was like, okay, instead of training volunteer coordinators, I want to help democratic groups and organizations build infrastructure.
Okay.
I want to get them that website. I want to get them that volunteer coordinator.
And get them up to speed quick.
Get them up to speed so they can start to build a community of democratic activists. So if you don't have that infrastructure, if you don't have that website for people to sign up on, or that volunteer coordinator who's getting people from the website and connecting with them and getting them involved and getting them engaged, it is going to be a lot harder for us to elect local Democrats. And it's going to be almost impossible for us to build that community.
And let me tell you, during the midterms, that is when you really, really have to get people out to the polls, because Republicans always vote,
Yes. Yeah.
regardless.
Yeah, they do. And they have that. It's kind of funny when people are like, oh, Republicans are always a step ahead of us. Because to me, I'm like, really? Like, I look at the Republican Party right now, and I'm like, it's really disorganized. How does anything get done, or it doesn't?
But you know, their voters go to the polls.
Their voters go to the polls, and their voters are fired up. They're always fired up. And I think if we can help build that infrastructure to grow that community and get our people involved, not just registering people to vote, because that's only the first step. We need to
Yes.
get people engaged. There are so many volunteers when I was the coordinator in Hillsborough County, and I've since trained somebody else. But there's so many people who I'd get that first phone call, contact them, and they'd go to one, you know, voter registration event, and they'd make friends. And then they'd go to more events, and then they would host trainings, and then they ended up sitting on a committee, on the board of a committee, and I'm like, this is what we need.
Yes.
We need to get people engaged and involved for the long term.
And they
not
want to
just
be involved. They just don't know what to do.
Exactly. And if we can help those local democratic groups and organizations, which is what Blueprint is doing. So then I created Blueprint. That was the
That's
idea.
it.
I was like,
You created a company.
Yeah, I was like, I want this organization. This is so important, and nobody's doing it. Nobody is helping right now that I knew of. I did a bunch of research. I asked around. People were like, I don't know anybody who's helping. So initially it was just DECs.
Okay.
Now it's
Democratic Executive Committees.
Yes. DECs are.
They're thinking about getting away from that and just saying, hey, we're the Hillsborough County Democratic Party, period.
Yeah. And when you're involved with a county level Democratic Party, you're used to the term DEC,
right?
Because it's much faster. It's easier to differentiate a DEC from a state party, or local, whatever. So, initially it was just county level parties I wanted to help, and now we've expanded it to Democratic and progressive groups and organizations, clubs, caucuses. I've had some candidates contact me and say, hey, we need help building infrastructure. And I'm like, I never really thought of
yes, because every candidate needs a volunteer staff.
Yeah. And I never thought of it. I was like, these are just I'm going to help organizations. So now, I mean, it's great. It's great. And we are currently helping in Polk, Pasco, and Pinellas. We've only been incorporated for a couple months, but it is going very, very well. I'm
just wondering, do you charge money for your services?
We don't.
You don't?
We don't. So we are 501c4 nonprofit, and we are, we run on donations. It's the only way we can do this work. So, if anybody wants to.
How would they donate?
They would go to the blueprintus.org and click the donate button, and it will take you to our Act Blue page, and you can donate there.
That is amazing. So I guess you have candidates that might donate to you, and
slowly it's coming in. We just started. We literally just started, and I am so grateful for the amount of support we've gotten via donations, via recommendations. So our first project was in Polk County, setting up a volunteer coordination process. It was about 8 weeks, and that is up and going. We are now helping Polk County. We've shifted, and we're going to attack the social media, public relations side of things. We did a training. We're also in Pasco County, gave them the operations and everything. I've created templates for everything. So it's very easy to train people how to do this. We do one-on-one training. It's not like a big, the trainings that have 300 people in a Zoom meeting. It's like I meet with you and we go over the process for as many times as it takes till you feel comfortable. And we leave you with the tools so you can easily train the next person behind you, because these organizations, there's a lot of turnover. There's a lot of turnover. It's volunteers. People come and go. People move. So we want that infrastructure to be there for the long term. We're in Pasco set up the volunteer coordinating operations, also doing outreach. I mean, there's so many different things that you don't anticipate you're going to help with, but you do. It's like, how
many people are working with you?
It's just me for now. It's me and my board. And to be honest, I'm not getting paid yet. I'm still trying to fundraise so we can hire people the way Fair Fight does, the way Move On does, the way, to be able, but to do this consulting and to do this work.
Well, believe it or not, it's break time again, but I'm so curious to know how you came up with the name Blueprint.
I was on a flight and I was thinking of names. Strategy Blue. I wanted the word blue to be in it.
Yes.
And just out of nowhere, the Blueprint happened, and it came to me, and I was like, this is perfect, because we are building blueprints, building plans of infrastructure.
Gotcha. I love it.
So that is kind of
all right.
That's how it happened.
We're gonna get the phone number out there as soon as we come back.
Yeah.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Don't miss the first annual Amateur Grillers Cook-Off Tampa Bay area on Labor Day weekend, September the 5th. Hosted by the Dr. K.C. Patel High School, located at 10721 Rollison Ranch Road, right here in Tampa, from 11 a.m. to 5 p.m. There will be a $500 cash prize to the best amateur griller. If you feel that you've got the skills, then you need to bring your grill. It doesn't matter how big or how small. You can drive it up, push it up, pull it up, or even let grandma and grandpa help you set it up. Just bring the entire family out and enjoy some of the finest amateur grill meats. Sample the sauce and find out who has the best sauce. Bring your meat and put it on a plate, and let's see if you have what it takes. For vendors information, text 813-965-4456.
Hi, this is Angela Birdsong with Tampa Bay Politics. And not only can you catch us on InTouchNews.com every Wednesday at 11 a.m., we now have a website at TampaBayPoliticsPodcast.com. We are on Apple, Google, Spotify, and Stitcher, which you can log in at any time and listen to Tampa Bay Politics. Okay, you are listening in to Tampa Bay Politics. And, you know, if you're just too busy living life, please tune in to us. We're here every Wednesday morning, 11 a.m. to noon on In Touch News. That's on the website. And I put all of the shows on Facebook under Tampa Bay Politics. But today we are talking to Olivia Thompson. She is the president. She is the girl at The Blueprint. All right. So tell us right now, tell us a little bit again about the name and what you are doing right now and how people can get involved right now.
So the name, so I had been saying before, the name, it was kind of funny. It came to me. I wanted something with blue in it. And like my first couple things were strategy blue. What was it? Blue strategy. I did a lot with strategy, the words strategy and blue. I kind of played with those a lot. And then I was on a flight to New Jersey, and the Blueprint had just kind of come to mind out of, I don't know if I'd heard it in passing somewhere, but I was like, this is the perfect name, the Blueprint. And, because we are building, a blueprint is a building plan for
That's right.
structure.
Every building needs a blueprint.
Exactly. So that's where I was kind of like, we are
now
building.
I get it.
Yeah. It's the building plan for infrastructure for these organizations. So it's really a blueprint of infrastructure. So that is how the name came about. And right now we are currently working in Polk, Pasco, and Pinellas counties. Pinellas is our newest one. And if you have social media, if you have, Facebook, Instagram, we have a Twitter account. I haven't yet tweeted yet.
Okay.
It's been sitting
Let's
there.
get
But
tweeting.
Instagram and Facebook, it's our name all across the board is The Blueprint US, like United States. And we are in Florida right now, but this is something that I'm looking to expand. I really want to help in Georgia. And yeah, we'll see where it goes. But right now,
Georgia, I think, needs to teach us what to do.
I know.
Because Georgia is blue.
Georgia is blue. And
we need to just keep it blue.
Yeah, no, we need to keep it blue, and we need to solidify that blue.
But we need to turn Florida blue.
We need to turn Florida blue.
And believe it or not, the governor's race is always 1 point or less.
I know.
So if we can make up that 1%, and black people make up 20% of the voting constituency in Florida. So that alone can swing it over the top if we can get black people mobilized like Stacey Abrams did.
Yes. Yeah, I feel like we can thank the 2020 election to the black community.
And you know what?
Like
black people are going to have to save the United States of America again.
Yeah.
These midterms are going to be extremely important.
Yeah, they are. No, they are.
Because we could lose the Senate and we could lose the House as well. So,
But we're not. We're not going to do that.
We're not
going to let that
because
happen.
you know what?
We can't go there.
With these voter suppression laws, they can backfire. People can say, "You want to take my vote?" Oh no, you won't.
Yeah.
So people
Yeah.
are very, very aware.
Yeah, people are way more aware. I mean, I feel like this always kind of comes to mind, but I never knew the actual numbers. Like, I remember the last midterm in 2018 when it was like 500,000 people they're trying to prevent from voting in Georgia. Like, hearing those numbers.
Yes.
Also, people seeing, when I was in Georgia in January of this year, helping with the Ossoff campaign, the amount of people who I met, young black people who were like, my friend and I were at this vegan restaurant, and our server, she was saying, you know, for the first time, I really felt like I was making a difference. I could see those numbers coming in.
You know what? Someone's calling. Did you want to pick up the phone? Let's see who that is. Hello.
Hi, I'm Alexandra, and I'm calling in to ask a question for Olivia at the Blueprint.
Alexandra, are you the president of the Progressive Caucus by any chance?
I am.
Wow. Do you want to tell people, after you ask your question, how they can join a club or caucus for the Democratic Party?
I'm sorry?
Well, after you ask your question, would you like to tell people how they can join a club or caucus for the Democratic Party?
Yes.
Oh, good. What's your question?
I would like to ask Olivia for some tips on the best way to follow up with people and help me share that information with our membership and outreach committee.
Yes. Okay. So I understood that you want to help, you want to understand the best ways to follow up and, you know, kind of engage the membership and whenever new people are coming in. Is that right?
Yes. So if I have a few people on my team for the membership committee, how can I get them to the easiest way to follow up with anyone who's inquiring? Is it through spreadsheets? Is there an app that you use or a website? Or is it one at a time sending emails and phone call follow-up?
So I would definitely say keeping a spreadsheet is one of the easiest ways, because you can separate who has contacted you and you can capture their information. And of course you can create as many, you know, columns as you want in that spreadsheet. And I would always say first to call the person. First give them a call. And because that is the biggest, you know, especially during the pandemic while we're all socially distanced, that is, you know, you are making that first effort. And even if they don't answer, leave a message. And then I would say text the person, because they'll see that text and they will know you are with the Progressive Caucus or whoever's reaching out to them, you know, what their purpose is. And they'll say, you know, oh yeah, I was trying to get involved. This is awesome. And then they'll probably say, hey, you know, I'm at work or whatever. Can you call me back at this time? So I would say spreadsheet. Yeah, definitely. This is to be specific also for new people who want to get involved. I would say put them in a spreadsheet, call them if they don't, you know, answer, text. And then once they're engaged and once they're sort of in the flow and attending meetings or what have you, then you can add them up to your, whatever it is, MailChimp or mail list. But I would definitely send them links for when your meetings are. You can even send them calendar invites.
Oh, I like calendar invites.
Calendar invites.
And you know what? You might want to hire a girl named Olivia. She has a company named The Blueprint.
Well, not hire us, but if you ever want some tips, yeah, we are here to help any progressive or democratic groups and organizations. So.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Oh, question. How do you join the Progressive Caucus?
So you can find us at progressivetd.org and fill out, sign up for our newsletter, or you can become a member right online. And you can also send me a direct message or email. I'm at info at progressivetb.org, and I would love to hear from you. I'll add you to that spreadsheet, and we'll have someone call you and text you, just like Olivia's tips.
You know what? Are you saying T as in Tom?
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah, T as in Tampa Bay.
Oh, TB.
Progressive
TB.
Yes.
Info at progressive.
Say it again.
Yeah.
TB for Tampa Bay.
Say the whole thing.
Info at progressive, T as in Tom, B as in boy, .org.
All right, now we got it.
And it's progressive without an S. Just progressive.
Yes.
Okay. Just want to be clear.
You want to give out your phone number?
Yeah, sure. I'm at 727-422-7710. Shoot me a text, and I would love to talk with you and schedule time.
All right.
Love that.
Yeah, thanks so
Thanks
much.
for calling.
Oh, and I have a question for you, Alex.
Sure.
Is there a membership due to become a member of the Progressive Caucus?
Yeah, absolutely. We have memberships are $27 a year. We do have scholarships available. We don't want finances to be a barrier. You can join the committee, and we do have a meeting tomorrow night. It's at 7 p.m. We have a speaker, Dr. Augusto from the University of South Florida. It is going to be on critical race theory.
Critical race theory, that's a hot topic.
Yes. It sure is. We want to get some more information on how we can work on these projects as well and answer some questions. I already have some questions, so I'm excited for our meeting.
And you all meet
the
fourth Thursday of every month, correct?
We meet on the last Thursday. Every once in a while, that's going to be on the 5th Thursday.
Okay. The last Thursday. And it's all virtual right now, right?
What was that?
Are you meeting in person or virtually?
We're doing virtual meetings for the foreseeable future. We've tried to do in person, and then with our rising cases, we decided to do virtual and keep our speakers and our guests safe. You can find us on Mobilize and join us, and our Facebook page will have the events posted as well. It's the Progressive Caucus on Facebook.
Wonderful. Thanks so much for calling.
Yes, thank you so much. I hope you have a great day.
Okay.
You too. Bye, Alex.
Post us on your
Bye.
Facebook page.
Love that. That was wonderful.
You know what? She brought up a great topic. The Democratic Party is a big tent.
Yes.
And we got a lot of different voices out there, and we love them all. We're a big family. So there's a progressive caucus, there's a women's caucus, there's a black caucus. There's so many.
Disability caucus, veterans caucus, LGBT caucus. Yeah, we have a lot.
So there's a place for you. And the Democratic Party meetings are the second Monday of every month, and they are virtual as well.
Yep.
But just type in Hillsborough County Democratic Party and in your browser, and you'll find them.
Yeah, absolutely.
Get involved now.
Yes, get involved now.
What are you waiting for?
This is, I know, this is the time to get involved. The off season is the time to get involved, and I feel like historically, Republicans are better at staying involved and staying engaged.
And they don't care about COVID. They're knocking on your door.
Yeah, they don't care, and they're better at staying involved all the time. Whereas I feel like Dems, we, especially after a victory, we're like, oh, we're doing fine. Good. We can relax. We can take time off.
And you can never relax because the people are so happy when you come to their door.
Yes.
They want to know the Democratic Party is out there and they're working.
Yes. Yeah.
They don't want to hear from you just at election time.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And that's what we tell at the Blueprint whenever we're working with an organization to build this infrastructure. We always tell them, go out and do voter registration events. You might not register one person an hour, but it's visibility.
Yes.
It's letting people know that you're there.
Yes.
You're in the community. You're saying we're here. We care.
Can you believe it's break time again?
I know. This goes so fast.
This is racing by right here.
It is.
Okay. See you in a little bit on the other side.
Yeah.
so believe we hunted down 813-248-6300. Everything gon' be okay, call Ricky, he coming. He taking care of state of Florida, grab a pen of sundown. 184-361-RICK. That's 184-361-7425. Never word from the point forward, just recline. Just ask Ricky, plus your boy statewide. Just in case you missed it, I'ma tell you one more time. 184-361-RICK. Call Ricky, ask Ricky. Is a legal medical referral service. The doctors and lawyers in our network are trained in handling auto injury claims and giving you the best medical treatment and recovery. Dial 1-844-361-RICK. That's 1-844-361-7425. Ricky. Ask Ricky.
Hey, this is Agent Wright, better known as Mr. Clean. You looking for some great barbecues? Come see them two brothers in the grill, located at 423 Virginia Street, Charleston, West Virginia. We got ribs, chicken, pulled pork, brisket, collard greens, mac and cheese, baby. Come get some and get you a nice, smooth cigar. 304-550-4431. That is 304-550-4431. Come get some, baby. The Rib Man, mama, the Rib Man.
By now, we're all aware of the dangers of COVID-19. Like others with existing health issues, cancer patients are at a high risk due to their compromised condition. If you are newly diagnosed with cancer, your care likely can't wait. Moffitt Cancer Center is the best place for your cancer concerns and to provide guidance to help you plan your next steps. We're here for you. Call 1-888-456-2839 or go to moffitt.org/here-for-you.
And you are listening to Tampa Bay Politics. I'm your host, Angela Birdsong. And I'm in the studio here with a lovely lady, and she is a mover and a shaker. She's making a difference. Her name is Olivia Thompson, and her company is The Blueprint.
Yes. I feel like I never know whether I want to call it a company or an organization because it's a nonprofit. Is it technically more of an organization than a company? Or is it both?
All right, I would go with organization.
What do you think?
I would go with organization, and I want you to know that she is not being paid right now. She's doing this out of the goodness of her heart, and she needs donations from you.
Yes.
So, everybody can't be a canvasser.
Yep.
Everybody doesn't have time to be on the phone, but they can give some money.
Yeah. Yeah,
send
absolutely.
love and money. Where do they send love and money?
They send love and money to, if you go to our website, theblueprintus.org, US like United States.org, you can go on there, you'll see our donate button, it'll take you to Act Blue. And actually, speaking of Act Blue, so when we're doing this, part of our services, I guess you would say, and how we help Democratic groups and organizations, we help with everything from helping build a website, a modern, engaging website, to training a volunteer coordinator and setting up a volunteer coordination operation. We do with social media, public relations. We have an incredibly, incredibly talented graphic designer, Cody Seaton. He's based out of D.C. His work has been retweeted by Michelle Obama.
Wow,
and
that's
featured
impressive.
in Times Square. He is our graphic designer. He made our beautiful logo. And he is on our team and helps build branding kits and logos for groups and organizations who need to do rebranding. We do fundraising training. Our partners, we actually are partnered with Act Blue. Whenever I signed up to make our account for the Blueprint, they were super excited.
That's wonderful.
Yeah, they were very excited about what we were doing, and they said, this is such important work. How can we help? And so we have partnered with them, and they do the fundraising training portion of our work for the groups and the organizations that we work with. So they help them, even if the organization doesn't have Act Blue, they will still one-on-one train them, tips. They do a lot of email blast fundraising, digital fundraising, like what we see with the Biden campaign with, Ossoff, Warnock, the big Senate campaigns that we've had recently. So Act Blue does that. So we help with, the Blueprint. We help with field organizing. We help with, field strategy, digital strategy, how to create engaging, effective, modern content. And, our mission is to create community around democratic activism. And if organizations don't have that infrastructure to engage their community, to pull people in, whether it's digitally or it's on their website, people signing up to get involved, it's going to be hard to do it.
Yes, they can fall in that black hole.
Yeah.
And we don't want them to do that.
And we don't want that. And we don't want an election to go by and, then everyone takes off time, and we don't have that infrastructure to keep people involved. So this is very, very important work, and we do not charge, because a lot of people, when I was starting this, they'd say, why don't you make it an LLC? Like, why don't you, make it a company and charge people for consulting? And I said, well, I don't want to do that, because a lot of these groups and organizations don't have the money.
They don't have money.
They don't have the money to pay.
The Republicans have all the money.
Yeah.
I don't know I don't know why, but they got all the money.
Know. We don't know. Some shady underground stuff going on there.
I know.
But so we, I said, I don't, and we strongly, strongly believe that all democratic and progressive groups and organizations deserve to have the high quality strategies, skills, and tools that the big campaigns do, regardless of their ability to pay.
I agree. And you know what? A lot of things now they don't really cost money. Facebook doesn't really cost money. It's more skill.
It's skill. It's definitely skill. It is skill, and training them those skills.
Yes.
And giving them the tools when there are tools, for creating graphics or something like that, and training them how to use those tools effectively is what we do.
And of course, in a state like Florida, you have a lot of people who've had careers.
Yep.
They've retired here. They have time.
Yep.
And a lot of them can be retrained.
Yeah.
If you take the effort to train them.
Yes.
Yes.
And also, we have this facet of the blueprint that we call the next generation approach. So whenever we're working with an organization, one of the things when we first start working with them, we literally have this page, and it's like a needs assessment. It's their blueprint, and we build their blueprint. We go through every facet of the organization and see what they want to build upon, see what they want to strengthen and grow. Maybe what hasn't really worked, we can discard. And one of the things is engaging, what is their Young Dems group like? And are they reaching out to, do they have a college or university in their area, or an active high school group? The great thing about, speaking of people who have time, is college students and younger, poli-sci students.
Yes, and that's helpful.
That's helpful. They can put it on their resume.
Yes.
They have the time, and they need
the experience.
The experience before they get on a big campaign. They can say, I did this, and I worked with the County Democratic Party, doing this, this, and that, whether it's digital or it's field strategy or whatever it is. So we always encourage the groups and organizations we work with to, and we help them to grow their Young Dem and progressive body.
And what we need to take more seriously are those lower end positions, from precinct captain to water management, all those things. We need to start filling in those, because that's how the Republicans do it. First they're the dog catcher, next thing you know they're the mayor, and next thing you know they're a senator.
Yeah.
And we have to look at all those lower races.
Yeah. And it's always an opportunity, it's an opportunity to gain those skills.
Yes.
Even if it's a position that is not, Senate.
Right.
Or
everybody has to start somewhere.
You got to start somewhere.
I love the new governor of New York, because she started.
She's so awesome.
She started small, and the next thing you know, she got another position. Now, accidentally the governor. Wow, but she is ready.
She's ready.
She's qualified.
Yeah. No, she's really awesome. I heard her speak last week, and I was like, oh, this is great.
Yes.
She's very poised. She's very, the way she, answers questions, she's very direct. She's very honest. And that's what we need.
That's what we need.
Leaders.
She's a breath of fresh air in New York.
She is a breath of fresh air. Yes.
Hey, you know what? I think we could possibly have an African-American mayor in St. Petersburg, Florida.
I think so. It's looking like it.
Are you working with those St. Pete Dems over there at all?
Yes, we are. Yeah, so Pinellas County Democratic Party, that is our newest partnership. And we've been working with Lucinda Johnston, the chair, who is a wonderful, wonderful woman. And she's been so grateful to the Blueprint and the work that we're doing. But we are helping them establish a volunteer coordinator.
Wonderful.
We're helping them restructure their committees. We're helping them with outreach and visibility and digital strategy and all kinds of stuff. So we are.
I think we need you at the Democratic Black Caucus.
We would love to help. Yeah. Anybody who needs the help, we are here to.
And you know what? We've got
bring the
22
infrastructure.
chapters strong across the state of Florida.
Yep. That's awesome.
And, we have a state, our new state president, Trevor Mallory, is out of Pinellas County.
Yeah.
And the first vice president, Jordan Pride, is out of Hillsborough County. Yes.
I love
He's
Jordan.
also the
Shout out
president
to
of
Jordan.
Hillsborough County, the Hillsborough County Democratic Black Caucus.
Yeah.
And we meet the second Thursday, 6 o'clock every month, and we are virtual so far.
Yeah.
Hillsborough County Democratic Black Caucus. You find us online or on Facebook.
Yeah. That's awesome.
Yeah.
That is
So
awesome.
this
Yeah,
all-
we would love to help. We would love to come and, see what infrastructure that we can help you guys build.
So if you have a club or a caucus, you need to call this lady. Where do they call you?
They can call me at 302-345-6124 is my number. You can call and text me. If you have a club, caucus,
Candidates?
county party, whatever, we have been, and I've been getting really, really good feedback, which makes me really happy. So we just set up, the first process we set up was in Polk County, was a volunteer coordinator. And now we're shifting and we're helping their publicity committee with social media and digital organizing. And the chair, Barbara Harris, told me, she was like, honestly, what you did is already, like, I'm getting volunteers in, because before their volunteers were sitting in papers, like, in someone's desk.
Wow.
And nobody was reaching out to them. So since we have helped them, they are now, every volunteer that signs up, they are engaging with them. They're bringing them in. They're getting involved. That's, they're registering more voters. They're turning more people out. This is the work. That's why this work is so crucial.
Well,
it's not just building infrastructure.
Let me say thank you for what you're doing, because people don't know how close some elections are.
Yeah.
I mean, I've seen 90 votes
Yeah.
difference, even 1,000 votes. These things are close.
They are close. And that's why we were so excited to help in Pinellas, was because Biden only won by 0.2%. It was like 49.4 to 49.6. And this infrastructure that we're building will be that extra push to bring in more volunteers, to engage them so they can register more voters, they can mobilize more voters to the polls, and we can elect more Democratic candidates. But if we don't do any of that...
Because I'm sorry to say, there's a lot of Democratic voters that don't vote during the midterms.
Yeah.
I heard Nancy Pelosi say half of the American public doesn't know there's going to be a midterms. That's reality.
That's not good. Yeah, but it is our job to.
Well,
and we are helping the Blueprint.
I am
full
so
steam.
happy that
Thank
you came in today.
Me too. Thank you for having me. This has been so much fun.
I was referred to you by a gentleman in the Democratic Party, Jerry D. Parizio, and he spoke highly of you. And next thing you know, you're here.
I know. Thank you, Jerry. Thank you, Angela. Thank you, everybody.
Tell friends. And I hope everybody will tune in to Tampa Bay Politics.
Yes.
We're here every Wednesday.
Yes.
Or tune in. I have a Facebook page now.
Yeah.
Tampa Bay Politics. I have a website page, Tampa Bay Politics Podcast.com. So you have to put the podcast in there.
Beautiful. And if you want to give and you want to support what we are doing, feel free to go to theblueprintus.org and hit donate, or follow us on Facebook, like us on Facebook, follow us on Instagram and Twitter, even though Twitter is kind of a work in progress.
And I am also looking for supporters, sponsors, sponsor the show.
Yeah.
All right. See you later.
In Touch Radio anywhere. On your phone.
I'm listening right now, man.
In your car.
I'll keep that going.
On your computer. Access. It's a new world, baby, and we are global. In Touch Radio.